Alright folks, so for this video I'm going to share something extremely personal with you guys. This is all 100% truth. Yeah, so after my mom's fourth divorce, so she's heading for divorce number 7 now. Yeah, she was actually sold into prostitution temporarily. She was lucky enough to escape. It was back in the summer of 2003. So what happened was my mom, so in 2002, she was divorced for the 4th time. I know all of this sounds crazy, but I wish I was joking. I wish I was making comedy, but yeah, that's my life. That's my family. So my mom, she met this guy. This was probably one of the earliest forms of online dating. You're looking at the MSN Messenger. So this guy, he flew over from Taiwan. And the first time I saw this guy, I already knew he was a con artist. He was just there to scam my mom of any savings that she has left. Now, this is before my mom had her successful business. That was with her 6th husband. So that's when she made a lot of money. At this point, my mom, she barely had any money. And my mom was 41 years old. She's divorced 4 times. She has 2 kids with 2 different baby daddies. That's a lot of baggage. So this guy claims to be a multi-millionaire from the Taiwanese capital, Taipei. And he claims that, oh, look, this is my mansion. He was showing my mom all of these photos online. And he's saying that, oh, look, I have a sports car. I got everything going. This is my office. You know, I'm working at that executive suite job. And I got everything going. You know, I'm the top 1%, top G. Yeah, come to Taiwan with me. I'll make you the queen of the world. What a load of crap. The most insane part is I saw this back when I was 10 years old. At the time, my sister was 20. My sister was about to get married for the first time. Everybody knew, even my grandmother, everybody wanted her. She would not listen. You know, that's the story of my life. Every time I try to work something out with my family, every time I try to find a common ground, every time I try to talk sense into them, I just get the basically demonic banshee screaming. I'm sure you guys have all heard of those before. Basically, ah! Story of my life every single day, and I think it's enough to drive any man insane. Part of the reason why women live longer than men is because I think the reason why about 80% of suicides worldwide are from men is the vast majority of men, they cannot deal with that kind of screaming. Sure, maybe for a day or 2, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, but what if that was your life every single day? That's why, once again, I'm not against divorce. So against everybody's well, I don't know what to say. So she flew to Taiwan. She flew to Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, and she stayed there for 6 months. I think she landed must have been April of 2003. And obviously right away, it was very difficult back then for us to contact her. This is age before social media. So yeah, we kind of lost in touch. Everybody was concerned, and she will return 6 months later. She probably lost at least 20 pounds. You can tell her body, she was bruised, she was battered. I mean, she looked like one of those drug addicts that's been living on the street for the past 10 years. She was in absolutely terrible shape. And every time people asked her, I asked her, she would not even share the stories, not even with me, not with her own mom, not with my sister. But I think everybody kind of figured it out over the years as to what happened. Maybe I don't know the exact details. I think she'll probably take that to the grave. But yeah, so the guy, yeah, the Taiwanese multi-millionaire, he was a con artist, and my mom was sold into prostitution. Now, keep in mind, at the time, my mom was already 42 years old. I mean, she wouldn't be one of those women who's standing at the street corner or something. It's probably one of those Asian lady massage parlors. Because if you guys have been to one of those places, I mean, at the end of the day, it's same as getting a girlfriend or a wife. It's paying for sex, right? So the vast majority of the time, those Asian women at those Asian massage parlors, they're quite old. I would say the average is probably like 50 or even 55 years old. It's extremely rare to see a very young Asian woman working at those places. And she was probably trapped at that place for quite a few months. I don't know how much money exactly my mom had at the time. She probably lost all of her money just trying to get out. Yes, she actually got married to this Taiwanese guy. And I would say, you know, she's one very, very brave. She's a truly iron woman that she was actually able to escape from that environment. There's a great saying in China. It's called this 可怜之人 必有可恨之处. So what does this mean? This means that the people that you feel sorry for, the people that you feel pity towards these people, especially children and women, there must also be a reason why that you absolutely hate them. It drives me insane at this point in my life. I'm sharing with this story because there's a second part to this video. It's extremely personal because a couple months ago I had a meeting with my dad and he attempted to kill me. That actually happened. Well, he was shouting that in his mouth. I mean, the guy is he's 65 years old. I mean, it was actually vice versa. If it wasn't for my stepmom, who knows, things could have gotten really, really nasty. Throughout my life, you know, there's all these divorces in my family. I try to talk my sister out of it. I try to talk my mom out of it. And I did mention before my grandmother and my grandfather's marriage, my maternal grandmother and my grandfather's marriage, extremely toxic. The reason why they didn't get divorced was because it's a massive stigma back in the day. It was just not acceptable for couples to get divorced. They fought each other to the death every single day. I think I told you guys the last 10 years of their marriage, they were married for over 50 years. They both slept with a knife under their pillow. They both told me that, just at any point, they were ready to burst and stab each other to death. Constant domestic violence, constant physical abuse from both sides. And that's the kind of marriage that they were in. Here's one thing that you absolutely cannot escape. It's genetics. It's 100% real. What if I told you guys, let's say, I decide to get married, if I'm lucky enough to find a wife. Let's say I marry an average Chinese woman, 5 foot 2 inches tall, 95 pounds. And let's say we have a daughter. And I tell my wife that, look at our daughter, 20 years from now, she's going to be on the Chinese national women's volleyball team. And she's going to become an Olympic and world champion. Well, I mean, if I'm looking for an honest response, I would be 100% delusional. Genetics is everything to do with it. For example, if you look at someone like Yao Ming, who towers over Shaq, right? Yao Ming is 7'6". Both of his parents were professional basketball players that played on the Chinese basketball team. So his dad was actually 6'9", and his mom is 6'3". So that's how Yao Ming turned out to be a massive giant. That's the reason why their parents actually got together, is basically to produce a super baby that can become the future of Chinese basketball. For all of you guys out there, if you're looking for a long-term partner, if you're looking for a girlfriend to be in a long-term stable relationship or enter a marriage, and so the most important thing is that just look at this girl's parents, especially her mom, because she might not look like that now. Maybe her mom is absolutely crazy, but she's very feminine, she's very sweet, very innocent. But I mean, maybe she's 22 years old now. Just wait until she's 30 or 35 or 40. The older she gets, the longer you get to know her, you will find out that she will turn out exactly like her mother. Unfortunately, my mom, she turned out exactly like my grandmother. That's why she has 7 divorces. And my sister is turning out exactly like my mom. My sister, she's 43 now. And she used to be one of the happiest girls in the world. But now when I look at my sister, constant bitching, constantly miserable. She's always like, get the hell away from me, every single day. And I look at my sister's daughter. Last time I saw her, this is my niece. She's 12 years old. Well, she's 13 this year. When I saw her last year, she was 12. Exact same thing. I tried to talk to her. She's stuck on her phone. Just doesn't do homework, skips school, doesn't give a shit about anything. Just glued to her phone like this, pretty much 16 hours a day. And when you try to talk to her out of it, you say, hey, why don't we go outside for a walk? She's like, get the hell away from me, get out of my room. Do you think, that kind of a girl at the age of 12, if she's already like that, right, she doesn't care about school, she doesn't care about homework, she's probably going to drop out of high school at some point, if she even makes it to high school. Because in China, in order for you to get into, not even university, just for high school, you have to take the high school entrance exam. And I don't even think she can pass, because I helped her with some of the reviewing of her homework. This is her first semester of middle school, and she ended up failing the end of the semester exam. She just absolutely doesn't care. And sure, there are so many Chinese simps out there. I'm sure she can get married when she's 22 or 24 or 26, but she will follow the exact same footsteps as my grandmother and my mom and my sister. Exact same footsteps. She will turn out just like them. This is why I said before, some people in this world, they should absolutely not procreate. So marriage and children is not for everybody. Regarding my mom's 5th marriage, right, when she was basically being sold by this pimp to a Asian lady massage parlor. My sister, basically multiple members of my family. So many of us has tried to reach out to my mom to help her. We said that, okay, you have to actually tell us the truth of what happened. Every time we try to help her, all she does is, screw all of you guys, I feel sick, all of you stay away from me. That's the response. Every single time I try to help her. And yeah, after her 6th divorce, she had multiple suicide attempts. She was popping pills every single day. And I tried to talk her out of it. Same with my sister after her 2nd divorce. I told these women, I said, please, for the love of God, why can't you just stay single? I told my mom, shave your head actually, go to a monastery, just read the book of truth and pray your sins away, because the reason why every single one of your relationships and marriages has been a total disaster is because you're the problem. You're the common denominator in every single one of them, because it's not just the marriages for my mom and my sister. So yeah, they've combined for 11 marriages. If you count the relationships, situationships, summer flings, hookups. So yeah, my mom and my sister, they both have a body count of a minimum 30. It could be much higher. So you're looking at 60 men between those two women. Every single one of them was a disaster. At some point, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that this is not going to work out. At some point, I keep thinking to myself, I really, really want to forgive my mom for everything that has happened in my life, for basically abandoning me when I was a kid. And so I was born in 92. I'm turning 33 this week. So my mom's 2nd marriage was in 91. They got divorced in 93, and I've basically been abandoned ever since. As a matter of fact, I was almost sold to the black market in 1996. So my dad and my stepmom, they were going to sell me to some rural peasant Chinese farmer for maybe $10,000, and basically I would be off the grid forever. And it was my grandma who actually fought for my custody. It was my grandma who brought me back from that distant relative right before I was being sold. That was in 1997. My grandmother, yes, she was really, really nice to me, and she took care of me. But unfortunately, just the constant fighting, the constant chaos between her and my grandfather, that really, really destroyed me. Every single moment of my life, pretty much, first 33 years of my life, has been nothing but pain, has been nothing but suffering, has been nothing but misery. And the only reason why my mom would choose someone like my dad, I did mention in previous videos, he's abused me so many times. He's forced me to get circumcised right before I turned 17. The worst moment of my life. My life has never ever been the same ever again. I understand in some cases, it's necessary if you have a certain medical condition, you do have to get circumcised. But my dad, he just wanted to abuse me, and the doctor in Canada wouldn't allow it. So he flew me back to China, and he told my mom. I fought my mom furiously over this. I said, no, I'm not doing this. You're going to destroy my life. And my mom just went along with it. The reason why my mom divorced my dad after just 2 years of marriage is because my dad is 100% batshit crazy. He's absolutely insane. And I'm talking about, he's basically a crossover between Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. That's the kind of man he is. Unfortunately, the only reason why my mom chose to marry my dad is because, he owned 2 houses. Once again, it all comes down to your parents. So my paternal grandfather, he was the first police chief in the subdivision where I was born, so he had a lot of money. So my dad's job was all set up by him. And back in the day, in the subdivision where I lived, everybody owned homes. It was easy back then. They were born into the golden generation. So my dad, through his work, through his company, he got a massive house. It was 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, about 1,700 square feet. And he also inherited another house from his dad after he passed away. So my dad owned 2 massive mansions. That's why my mom married him. When you're looking for your soulmate, when you're looking for a partner, the most important thing you have to look at is 人品. What is 人品? It is the content of that person's character, his moral standings, what this guy or this woman believes in. What values do they hold dear and close to their heart? It's not how much wealth they have. It's not how many houses they own. So I've been living in Canada for over 20 years now. I've spent a total of difficult to say, I would say maybe 5 years with my dad and my stepmom. I did mention before, my stepmom is also a prostitute. So I have multiple sex workers in my family. You can say female sexual promiscuity will destroy any family. It will destroy any civilization. And my dad still married my stepmom because, yeah, he's crazy, man. He's insane. He's completely psychotic. So, yeah, there's been so many cases. I can't count how many times, so many physical altercations. It's a good thing that by the time I moved to Canada, I was big enough I could basically defend myself from my dad. Or at some point, he probably would have killed me, if I was extremely weak or fragile, or if I came to Canada at the age of, let's say, 4 or 5 or 6 years old. I suffered so much physical and emotional abuse from him. And the last time we met, and because I blocked him so many times. Every time I block my dad, he will contact my mom. And my mom just refuses to block my dad. Even though they lived together for 2 years, and my mom realizes how crazy my dad is. He's a sick man, man. He puts on this fake face. He puts on this mask. And in front of my mom, he will FaceTime her. He acts all innocent. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. All of that, that's just the effects of drugs. That's just the effect of alcohol. That's just the effect of me just smoking and gambling too much. And that's all over. Just tell him to come back to me. I'll give him some money. Maybe if he's struggling, he can stay with me rent-free. I'll feed him 3 meals a day. And he will also get monthly allowances from me. Obviously, I know all of that is a complete load of crap. Life is never ever that kind. And I told my mom so many times, I said, just stop talking to him, stop falling for his lies. My mom would never ever listen, and she would just nag on about this topic for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, to the point where I just want to kill myself. Unfortunately, I do have to say, if I was born in a different time period, if I was actually arranged married to my grandmother or my mom or my sister, I would honestly kill myself, because I just cannot stand it, especially the banshee demonic screaming. I don't know what you guys are talking about, that stereotype about Asian women being feminine, being submissive. I was born to a family of demons, because all I heard every single day was ah! No, I'm serious. Every single freaking day, man. And I told my mom, I said, please, stop talking to my dad. I'm not going back to him, because if I go back, he will actually just attempt to kill me. And I did mention before, one time things got so bad that I had to actually escape to a women's shelter. And my dad, he actually chased me out onto the sidewalk because he was trying to kill me. But obviously, I could run faster than him. So I had to bang the door at the women's shelter. I had to beg the lady to open the door and call me a taxi to get the hell out of there. When I was back in China for 6 months, this is also the part of the reason why I had to leave. For over 170 days, every single day, my mom is, oh, you have to talk to your dad. You have to go back to him. You have to sort this thing out. You got to find a common ground. Oh, your dad is actually a good man. Oh, yeah, that's why you divorced him after just 2 years, because you realized he was crazy. So, and I know all of this is lies. I said, okay, I'll unblock him on my phone, but I'm obviously not going to quit my job. I'm not going to pack up my bags to go back to live with him to save some money. Him talking about, cooking me meals 3 times a day or giving me a monthly allowance. I know all of that is complete crap. I just talked to my dad. I said, okay, I'll just drive down there. So by the way, it's a very, very long trip. So it's roughly 1,200 kilometers round trip. So you're looking at about 750 miles round trip. So yeah, I went to visit my dad. We sat down, we talked. I would say not even 10 minutes, maybe between 8 to 10 minutes. He just went to absolute berserk. He's completely psychotic. I don't know how to explain it. He literally just, he jumped up from his chair while he was sitting on the edge of the bed, and he attempted to kill me, literally. I almost smashed his head open with his beer bottle, and my stepmom had to step in. Things got really, really nasty. Just stuff was getting tossed everywhere. That's the family I was born into. That's why I mentioned this in the previous videos so many times. You need a nuclear family. Without a family, you're going to grow up to be a failure. Throughout his entire life, my dad is 65 years old now. And obviously I blocked him once again. And I was extremely harsh to my mom this time also. I said, okay, if you ever bring my dad up again, just don't you even dare to actually just bring him into any form of discussion. Don't even F-U-C-K-I-N-G mention his name. If you do that, I will block you, and I will never ever talk to you again. And I 100% mean it, because you're just throwing me back into the mouth of a devil. Because at this time, I mean, he's old and fragile now, but if I try to go back and actually talk to him and he goes crazy, he actually attempts to kill me, I don't know if I'll be able to control myself. Something terrible could possibly happen. I mean, just a couple months ago, if my stepmom wasn't there, God knows. I mean, his head could have been bashed open. Every time I tried to stay the hell away from my dad, every time I was starting to feel just a little bit better, I would just get constant calls. I would get constant WeChat messages from my mom saying that, oh, you need to go back and talk to your dad. Yeah, my mom is 100% insane too, man. I don't know what else to say. And this is why to some of the people who are asking, why did I return to Canada? First of all, the most important thing is, obviously I did mention before, I gotta pay off my line of credit, and I'm paying it back. I'm probably looking at $1,000 a month. I'm hoping that I will be returning to China next year. I wouldn't be able to pay back all of my debt. I'm hoping maybe 2 more years, but certainly by next year, it will have gone down significantly, and I will be paying a lot less the interest rate, because that's the thing that's really just a huge burden on my back. That's the thing that's dragging me back. And also part of the reason why was because after 6 months, I cannot stand my mom's insanity, my sister's insanity, and my female cousin's insanity and my aunt's insanity. I grew up being surrounded by women, and absolutely terrible, miserable, demonic Chinese women. So, and this is also why it's so important we have the fall of masculinity. This is why it's so important to have a father figure. This is why it's so important to have a man in the household. This is what happens when you grow up with a bunch of insane, miserable, liberal women. It will absolutely destroy you as well. And despite all of this, I'm planning on returning to China next year. Not forever, I'll be staying there for a while, but I will be finding a place on my own. I will be enjoying my inner peace and my inner tranquility, because I cannot stand this insane drama anymore. Yes, some people can change. I do agree, but for some people, like the members of my family, my dad is 65 and my mom is 64. Some people, they're stuck in their ways. They're beyond help. I mean, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink. Some people are broken beyond repair. You don't get to choose the family that you were born into. And that's my family. That's my reality. So nothing I can do. The best I can do is just to stay the hell away from them as much as I can. So, and yes, sometimes even if it's your direct family member, it could be a brother or sister, your own mom, your own dad. But sometimes if these people, they're doing everything they can to sabotage your life in every single aspect, in every single way possible. And I think you guys need to realize that the only way for you to move forward is that you have to go your own way. It's the same for both man and woman. I can't escape it. That's my reality. That's why it's so important for me to actually share these stories. Some people out there who are saying that I shouldn't be airing dirty family laundries, but this is the only way we will actually realize the mistakes of the previous generation, to make sure that the next generation will never ever repeat these mistakes ever again. Because if let's say 50% of families in our society right now turned out just like my family, then the world is going to end.